Hello CC and Middleburg tutors. This is your tutorial for week 17 Fine Arts. For week 17 we're still in our Great Artist book. We've got one more week after this that we'll be studying our great artists. And for this week we are going to be on pages 24 and 25 to study Michaelangelo. For this week we actually have two options. We can either do the fresco plaque or we can do the lie down painting. So I chose for us to do the lie down painting because I thought that our kids would enjoy that process. This is to simulate for them the idea of the work that it would have taken Michaelangelo to do the Sistine Chapel, where obviously he would have had to been lying down on something, on a platform, in order to be able to get to the ceiling. And so we're going to replicate that in some way. I would encourage you guys for this to look at the documents that I've sent you for fine arts. There should be some examples of Michelangelo's work, and I would especially encourage you to try to find some pictures of the Sistine Chapel to bring in to show them. Number one, because it's just an amazing piece of work that everybody should be able to see in some form. And number two, because that's what we're pretty much trying to do a piece of work off of today. So, your book, it's going to be page 25. Make sure that you read through and kind of give them the background on Michaelangelo. You can do this while they're already working. They'll be busy, so they can kind of listen while they're already started. But the idea for us today is just to be able to put some paper underneath the table or a chair and let them actually paint something. So here's how we're going to accomplish that. We're doing watercolors because they will not be as messy as regular paints, and they will come out looking beautiful. So what I've done is I have gotten some squares of cardboard. This was like shipping cardboard for shipping vinyls. Found it on Amazon. And this is going to be a great backing for us to be able to put our paper underneath the tables or the chairs, because that doesn't really provide us with a flat surface. So now we have a flat surface. What I've done is I have taped with painter's tape a piece of watercolor paper onto the cardboard. The idea is that this is going to provide them with their painting surface, but the cardboard gives them a hard backing. So you guys are going to need to bring in some masking tape or some painter's tape if you have that, but I believe masking tape is what's in your tutor bins. And it's going to be up to you if you want to put this under tables, if you want to put it underneath individual chairs, but you're going to try to basically tape this to the underside of something so that the kids can then lay down underneath and use their watercolors to work on this. Now, since we have the painter's tape on either side, that's going to be a great surface for you to do your new tape, to help adhere it to the underside of something. Okay, so once you have everybody's stuff up underneath something, they're ready to go. We are using our watercolor pencils that we've used before. These are from Michael's craft store. They're awesome because they work just like colored pencils. So they can color away all they want to upside down and it's not going to make a mess. But then when we're done, we'll add the water to it and blend it, and it'll turn into a nice painting. So each of the classes are going to have their watercolor their pencils. You guys can just separate these out and, divide them amongst them as they need them. You may need to sharpen these, so make sure that you bring in your pencil sharpener that's in your tutor bin, because we have used them before, so they might need a little bit of work on them. All right, so if you don't remember how these work, basically they're going to draw whatever they want to draw. When they're all done, they can take it off of the underneath side, bring it back to the table, and then add the water. So you guys are going to have cups and a pitcher of water, and then some Q-tips that the kids can use for blending. So I'm going to move this aside. I have a watercolor picture that I did. I had some fun with this one, trying to be a little bit artistic. So I found a picture of the Sistine Chapel and just kind of zoomed in on some different pictures in there that I thought would be fun. So this one is the Delphi Sibyl. I thought it was a really pretty picture. And this is one of the images on the Sistine Chapel. So this is all done in watercolor pencil. Obviously, our kids can draw whatever they want. They could try to replicate something that might be on the chapel ceiling, angels, gardens, anything that they want to do, or they can just draw whatever they want to draw that they feel like doing. So this is what I chose to do. So as you can see, it looks just like a colored pencil drawing. But what I'll be able to do is take my Q-tip, get it wet, and add the water to it. And as I do that, these turn into watercolors. So the colors will blend. I can do a little bit of shading because I did try to use some different colors for doing like some darker aspects on here. Now, I'm not an amazing artist. I'm a good copycat. So this is not my original idea. I did not come up with this picture. I looked at a picture and tried to copy it. That's how I do art. So don't think that this is all out of my head. Anyway, this is a really easy process. All they're going to do is take their Q-tip and get it wet onto the painting. The colors are going to start blending really, really pretty. I did give you guys several Q-tips because they won't last real long, and also because once you get them onto a certain color, they're not going to want to use that again to, you know, blend around on a different color because it will smear. So I'm not going to do this whole picture here on the video, but I just want to be able to give you guys a good idea. Let me go ahead and change my color here and do something else so that we can get some more color going here. For some of the colors, it does make them much more vibrant once you add the water to it. So I can already see here on the face of my little lovely lady here, the colors are much more vibrant once I added the water than they were just in the pencil drawing. This is actually really fun. So I think the kids are going to have fun with this one. Number one, because they get to lay down on the floor and do something upside down, which is always fun. But number two, just seeing how the colors blend is pretty cool. So I'm just going to do a tiny bit more here on mine, and then I'll show you guys kind of how this works. Alright, so hopefully this is going to look a tiny bit different to you now than what it did before. You can see up top here, this is where I applied the water. So all of the color that was just drawn on now is all blended together. I did most of her face here and a little bit of her hair here, but I didn't do anything down here. So you can see the difference between here and here. Now, if they add more colors, like I didn't do a whole lot of different colors, but if they did like some pretty flowers or trees, or if the boys wanted to do dinosaurs, it doesn't really matter. If they do more colors and do more blending, then that's really going to look really, really cool. So this is the whole idea. Watercolors are a lot of fun, and this is going to give them a really cool piece of artwork to take home. The goal is that after they're done with their piece, because we used painter's tape, we'll be able to pull this off, you know, let them dry, pull it off, and then they'll have a piece of artwork that they can take home, and it'll just have a little border on the edges here where the tape was. So that is everything for week 17, Michelangelo's watercolor picture from the Sistine Chapel. Thank you. Bye.